Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, is the son of Prophet Yaqub, peace be upon him, and had 11 brothers. Yusuf was dearly loved by his father, which sparked jealousy among his siblings. One day, Yusuf saw in a dream 11 stars, the sun, and the moon, prostrating to him. He told his father Yaqub about this dream, and his father advised him not to share it with his brothers, for fear they might plot against him. Brothers plot. The brothers' jealousy intensified, and they decided to get rid of Yusuf. They planned to throw him into a well, so they asked their father for permission to take him out to play. Yaqub reluctantly agreed, and after taking him, they threw him into a well. They returned to their father crying, telling him that a wolf had eaten Yusuf, bringing his shirt stained with blood as proof. The grief of Yaqub. When Prophet Yaqub heard about Yusuf's disappearance and thought he was dead, his heart broke with sorrow and pain. Yaqub loved Yusuf deeply, and this news took away a significant part of his spirit. He continued to cry and pray, making weeping a permanent part of his life. Yaqub lost his sight from excessive crying and grief, yet he held on to hope and faith that Allah would one day return Yusuf to him. Rescue and journey to Egypt. Some passing traders found Yusuf, rescued him from the well, and sold him as a slave in Egypt. He was bought by the Aziz of Egypt, who brought him to his home. The Aziz admired Yusuf for his character and honesty, granting him a special status in his household. The temptation and imprisonment. The Aziz's wife, Zuleika, was enamored with Yusuf and tried to seduce him, but he resisted the temptation. When Zuleika attempted to trap him, Yusuf fled. She falsely accused him of trying to assault her, and despite the Aziz knowing his innocence, he ordered Yusuf to be imprisoned. Dream interpretation. In prison. During his time in prison, Yusuf learned to interpret dreams. He interpreted the dreams of 2 fellow prisoners, telling one that he would return to work in the king's palace, asking him to remember him to the king. Interpreting the king's dream and exiting prison. The king had a mysterious dream about 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 lean cows, and 7 green ears of corn and others that were dry. No one could interpret the dream, so the prisoner remembered Yusuf and informed the king about him. Yusuf was summoned from prison and interpreted the dream, predicting 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of drought in Egypt, advising to store grain during the years of plenty. Rise to power. The king was impressed by Yusuf's wisdom and honesty, appointing him as the minister in charge of Egypt's granaries. The years of drought began, and people flocked to Egypt for help, including his brothers, who did not recognize him. Reunion with the brothers. After a series of events and disguises, Yusuf revealed his identity to his brothers. They felt remorse for what they had done to him, and he forgave them, bringing them to Egypt to live with him and their father Yaqub. When Yaqub learned that Yusuf was still alive, his sorrow turned into great joy. His sons revealed the truth to him, and Yaqub decided to go to Egypt to see his beloved son. Yaqub regained his sight thanks to Yusuf's shirt that his sons brought. It was a touching and painful moment at the same time, as hope and light returned to Yaqub's heart after many long years of sadness and despair. Yaqub arrived in Egypt and reunited with Joseph, rejoicing in their meeting after years of separation and pain. Yusuf and his brothers lived in peace in Egypt, and thus ends the story of Yusuf, peace be upon him, which carries great lessons about patience and faith. If you enjoyed the story, please subscribe to